All right, so Bo is here to speak to us. This was going to be a panel with some municipal and engineering perspective as well, but we're going to hear from Bo, and Bo's going to talk to us about the development perspective, what he sees in the state and in the development community right now. And because I did not get Bo's intro before, I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and to give some context for his remarks. So Bo Kennedy, thank you very much.
Good morning. This was a bit of a surprise for me, as I found out yesterday that I would be filling in for Chris Thompson, who was originally on your programs, the president of Forefront Partners and the key partner for our project in Portland, Maine, Thompson's Point. My name is Bo Kennedy. I'm a civil engineer with Placemaker Partners. It's an affiliated company of Forefront Partners. Excuse if I tend to be narrated today with the last minute supply here. Chris Thompson, who regrettably couldn't be here today, I'm sure would give a much more vigorous presentation as he's lived and breathed this for so many years. My background stems from 15 years as a consulting site civil engineer. I've been working on the Thompson's Point project since 2011 as a consultant. And just as of this past November, I've kind of crossed over onto the dark side, if you will, onto the development side of the project. And so I'm here with my short-term development hat. Today I'd like to give you an abbreviated summary of the project, of its triumphs thus far, and its challenges ahead. Over the course of the years, the project has morphed through numerous iterations but Forefront's vision has remained very much the same. Revitalizing a significant piece of blighted property with a long history of railroad and industrial activity into a vibrant, mixed-use development, which will serve as an active gateway into Portland. Over the course of the railroad history at Thompson's Point dates back to the early 1800s, where it became a large hub for railroad train repair and maintenance for the better part of a century. Over the course of the 1900s, the railroad downsized, and the site transitioned into several other industrial and commercial uses, but left behind a dilapidated complex. Some of the buildings had great potential, but layout, structural deficiencies, and inside clearance height limited their usefulness to the first plan iterations. Luckily, evolution of the project would ultimately put these fascinating buildings to good use. While looking at these plans here, it's easy to see why we were reminded of the railroad almost daily when the contractor so conveniently runs into quagmire of old tracks, abandoned utilities, and massive granite block foundations built to last forever. As evidence of As evidence of other successful redevelopments come to fruition, it is not hard to see why communities throughout Maine are rallying behind the revitalization of old mills and factories. The reconnection to what was once the lifeblood of many towns and cities bring with it a feeling of pride, intrigue, and sense of community. We've been fortunate to see the benefits of having strong community and municipal backing over the course of this lengthy process on this particular project. In 2013, despite the plans for an estimated $110 million development, successfully tackling several engineering, procedural, and environmental hurdles, it was faced with several challenges, including the financial effects of the 2008 economic downturn. The exciting lineup of long contemplated uses, such as an event center and concert hall, hotel conference center, approximately 200,000 square feet of office space, upwards of 345 residential units, restaurants, sports medicine practice, and a mixture of both surface and structured parking. It would need to wait until the project underwent a restructuring. It is important to understand that up until this point, the city of Portland had a limited ability to approve phasing for large projects, which would mean the project at that time needed to be constructed in a maximum of 3 phases with relatively short permit expiration timelines. This limitation, coupled with strained economy and tight lending practices, made it challenging to bite off large chunks of the project. Meanwhile, several key opportunities presented themselves, dramatically changing how the project would be assembled. Not the least of which included Chris Thompson's reconnection with a longtime artist friend, Sam Van Aken. Sam was working on an art project called Tree of 40 Fruit when they reconnected, a project which uses the grafting technique combined upwards of 40 different types of stone fruits and some nuts to the same tree. The tree starts off as a single fruit tree, and year after year, new species are added to the original tree, adding up to the desired 40 different styles of fruits. By knowing the color of each fruit blossom or leaf the fruit will produce, the tree can be uniquely sculpted. This process and approach of piecing together elements with a distinct, unique characteristic became an inspiration for the project moving forward. The City of Portland soon implemented a new planning tool known as the Master Development Plan, which took steps to provide certain assurances and securities a large development project requires to make more secure, significant, long-term investments. The Master Development Plan extended the previously restricted timelines and freed the shackles of limited phasing. Secondly, we were able to negotiate creative land swap and purchase agreements with 2 key abutters. The additional lands is small proportionally to the overall project. However, it created a large opportunity to take advantage of the existing building infrastructure we once thought was lost. The diversity and types of development uses very much remained intact, but the overall feel of the project began to become more in tune with the historical past, bringing character, a sense of place, and accessible equity to the beginning stages of the expensive project. It seemed only fitting that one of the first improvements on the site was this installation of the world's first grove of Tree of 40 Fruits. It serves as a daily reminder of the evolving roadmap. The proposed development uses may be inherently different, but they need to work in synergy to make the successful placemaking goals for Thompson's Point that go well beyond items such as transportation demand management plan, our shared parking strategies, and business growth goals. We found that the community at large is in need of unique spaces to foster their creative event ideas and businesses. Thompson's Point size and relative open canvas is unique in its extreme close proximity to multimodal transportation, as well as quick linkage to family neighborhoods and the urban downtown Portland. To facilitate startup, creative events, and established businesses alike, we've tried to maintain a certain level of flexibility in our development thus far, with hopes that it makes us more resilient over the long run. While the Master Development Plan process, has created a path into our future, we view it as a first step to evolving the entire entitlement process to keep up with the fast-changing landscape of modern business. We are excited and now beginning to see the fruits of our evolving sculpture that we have started at Thompson's Point, where in partnership with all of our business partners and teammates, we'll soon be able to have a place where we can truly live, work with all of the businesses that are there today and the ones coming, play, and be together. Thank you.